All right, I'll go crawl over to my mat. We'll get started. And if you'd like to join me in our Sufi grind variation for opening meditation, sit in a way where you feel rooted and your spine easily lengthens up from your pelvis. If there's no comfortable way to sit like that to begin your practice, then lie down or sit in a chair somewhere where you can focus on your breath. Those of you preparing to move, take a huge breath in, inflate the belly, lift the low ribs up off the belly, spread out the middle ribs, lift the heart, lengthen the back of the neck. Exhale, lean forward a bit and start to draw small circles with your relatively straight spine. Feel your tailbone tracing circles on the ground between your sitting bones. The rest of the spine moves from there. Invite your slowing, deepening breath down into the low belly, the pelvis. As if you're stirring the breath into the sensations you're finding down here in your pelvis, in your roots. Circles stay small until they start to smooth out. So be curious about those edges your body wants to skip. And rather than force the circle into those edges, send breath. Because the body is wise. Sometimes it knows not to go certain places. And yet sometimes it's responding to echoes of old injuries, old protections that no longer serve us. Investigate with breath and with compassion. As you focus on mixing breath into these small circles, you may want to keep the movement small or even settle into a still place. Or if these root circles start to smooth out, you start to scrape the edges of the pelvic bowl. Maybe the spine above the pelvis wants to move more freely, grinding out into its own circles. Or pausing in a stretch in an open space to receive extra breath. And in the case that the movement becomes more organically freeform, follow that. If you've been circling in one direction, next time you're in the forward space, or maybe you come back to center, pause, take a delicious breath in, re-lengthen your spine, exhale, reverse your circles. Six more breaths. And finding your way to a still place for Brahmari Pranayam. So maybe you're sitting up straight, maybe you're lying on your back. Child's pose is fine. You can do Brahmari in child's. We'll work from the top down and just do one buzz for each center. We'll hit all 7 chakra centers. Starting up at the crown. If it helps you to use your hands, you're welcome to touch your crown. You don't have to. You might just feel into that, the expansiveness of the top of the skull. If you're a visualizer, often white is associated with this, sometimes purple. A higher toned buzz. Breathe in, and when you breathe out, make a humming sound. Moving down to 6, the third eye, ajna. Some say this is the brain stem, the actual eyes. I like to hold one hand, the back of my skull with one hand, my eyes with the other, and imagine just buzzing in between. Color usually associated here is purple, sometimes indigo. Huge breath in. Chakra 5, Vishuddhi, the throat chakra. Throat, neck, jaw, tongue. Some people put the ears. I often think of the ears in this chakra. I think in truth speaking and hearing truth. But some put it with chakra 6. Color, vibrant blue. Soft tongue as you buzz. Inhale. Bring the breath into the heart center. Chakra 4, Anahat. Really anywhere between diaphragm, collarbones, your lymphatic organs, the lymph nodes under your arms, the heart itself, the lungs. Huge breath. Summertime green is often associated with this. If you see different colors, if you visualize, that's fine. There's no set rules here. Moving down to Manipura, the solar plexus, number 3. So all your digestive viscera, liver, gallbladders on the right, stomach, spleen on the left, pancreas somewhere in the middle. Some include the kidneys in the back. Some say they're with chakra 2. Huge breath in, nice brassy, sunshiny yellow. Chakra 2, Svadhisthana, or some say are an emotional center. It's their internal reproductive viscera. Intestines are in here. Your hip tissues. Color seen as orange, element water. It's nice and fluid. Inhale. And finally, the root chakra, Muladhara, external genitalia, bones, legs, hips, knees, feet. So how we stand in the world are very much connection to earth, like earthy red, nice guttural buzz. Inhale. I'll sit quietly for a moment. You sit in residual vibration. If there's this area you want to buzz again, or buzz everything with Om in your space, go for it. If you're not in a sitting position, make your way up to sitting. We'll do a few spinal twist repetitions. If you have been sitting cross-legged, change the cross of your legs. Bring your hands onto your heart, one on top of the other. And then maybe go ahead and switch them, just in case you have a habitual pattern there. We build healthy habits and then we break those down too. Spinal twist repetitions. Breathe into the back bottom ribs. Lift them off your low back and lengthen the whole spine from there. Exhale, hug the low abdominals in while rooting pubic bone to the earth. Inhale, back bottom ribs, twist to your right. Exhale, draw in low abdominals to pull you back to center. Inhale, back bottom ribs, spiral left. Exhale, low abs, center. Going side to side like that 2 or 3 more times. Inhaling into the twist and flaring your rib cage out. Even the side and back ribs opening up. And when you complete this round, If it's right for you to come to all fours, come into a tabletop on your hands and knees for micro twist and quadruped. If being in table is not good for your wrists or your knees, then change the cross of your legs, change the cross of your hands, and continue your spinal twist repetitions. Those of you who are in tabletop, set your hands a little bit wider than your shoulders so you have lots of room to breathe. Press the earth away to lift out of shoulders. Reach the pelvis straight back. Dip the top edge of the sacrum down just a touch so there's a softness in the natural curve of your low back. But the belly, the ribs, not blowing out like in cow tilt. Inhale into the back bottom ribs. Turn your chest to the left. Pick the left hand up. Arm is straight. It's a tiny lift. Exhale, draw low belly in. Float the right knee off the earth. And straight up. Hand down, knee down. Inhale into the back of the rib cage. Turn right. Right hand floats up. Relax low belly. And then exhale, engage low belly to float the left knee up. Do that 2 more times to each side. Inhaling to twist your arm and float the hand up. And if the lifting the knee up hurts low back at all, skip it. Just do the upper body. And when your rounds are complete, micro twist and quadrupeds, maybe stretch back into child's pose. If child's pose doesn't work for you, we're all going to meet on our backs after a couple breaths. So spinal twist repetitions. You can lie down and draw knees towards shoulders. Child's pose. Take 2 more breaths where you are. Feel the head fully supported by the earth below, even if your head's on your hands or on a blanket or block. And then transition onto your back. Come onto your back. Left foot on the floor, right knee to chest. Holding onto the right leg wherever is comfortable. Maybe the shin, maybe the thigh. Maybe you've got a towel around your thighs so your shoulders can rest back on the earth. Start drawing small circles with your right leg, stirring up inside the right hip. And take a few circles in the other direction. Half frog. Line your right knee up right over your right hip. So it's pointing straight up. Lift your right foot and level with your knee. Flex the foot like you're in a chair with sharp 90-degree angles here at the hip, the knee, and the ankle. Right hand comes to the right inner thigh. Left hand pins the left hip down. Take a breath into the back of your pelvis. And like you're opening a door, exhale, press the right thigh open. Just as far as you can go without tipping off left hip. Once you think you're there, pick the right leg up, maybe half an inch. Inhale, exhale, press your left hip, left ribs back onto the earth. Now bring your right hand to your right inner thigh. We'll do our PNF here. Right into the middle of the thigh. Breathe in and exhale. Press your thigh up into your hand. Resist with your hand. You only need like 20-30% of your strength. We're turning the muscle on, but not starting a fight. Keep breathing as you press. And exhale, stop pressing. Guide your thigh down to the earth. Two more rounds like that. Take a breath. Exhale, press thigh into hand into thigh. Navel can engage, drawing in, but relax your teeth. Exhale, press the thigh open. One more round. Inhale. Exhale, press thigh up into hand, resist with your hand. Breathe into the back body on the mat. Huge breath in. Exhale, stop pressing. Right hand to the outside of right leg to bring the knee up and over into spinal twist. Any variation of twist. Maybe you want to bend the left knee underneath the right knee or straighten the left leg out. I like to have the right foot supported on something. I use my own leg, but you can use a block or a blanket or couch or bolster feels great. If your foot touches down before your knee touches down, that's where I like to put something underneath the foot. So you can bring it back to neutral, not enforce that external rotation. But you do what feels right to your pelvis. Bring your right arm across and then roll back onto your back in one piece. Hug your left knee to your chest. Hold the left thigh wherever you can and start to circle it, stirring up in the left hip. Mix breath into the bowl of the hip. Now take a few circles in the other direction. And set up for half frog. Left knee directly over hip, foot level with the knee, flexed at the ankle. Press your right hip down with right hand. Breathe into back of pelvis. Exhale, open the door. Pause before you tip over to the left. Lift your left leg up, maybe half an inch, and then press your right hip, right side body back into the earth. Left hand to left inner thigh, take a breath. Exhale, press thigh up into hand into thigh. Gentle engagement of abdominals, but relax the muscles around your eyes. Exhale, stop pressing. Do that 2 more times on your own, taking 2 or 3 breaths while you're sustaining the pressure. And remember, a little goes a long way here. You don't have to really press. You just turn on the muscles. The muscles that would bring your left leg back up. And when that third round is complete, you'll carry left leg across into your spinal twist. Half frog belly down. Bring left arm across. Keep rolling onto your belly. With your left knee bent out to the side, rest your head on your hands. And take a few breaths there, completely surrendered to the earth below. Straighten your left leg out and draw the right knee out to the side. Breathe as you mindfully bend that right knee so your hip flexors that are flexing your hip don't cramp. Ease back onto your back for a moment. We'll do this variation of arm glide, leg slide. Knees bent, feet on the floor. And if you have a slippery floor, you might actually bring your feet off the mat onto the floor or onto like a little dish towel on a wood floor because we're going to slide the heel out. So if you have an opportunity to slide, go for it. Arms down alongside the body. Spine neutral. Feel the sacrum planted into the ground, the low ribs either heading towards or on the ground. If they feel like they're really arched off the ground, please put a pillow underneath your head or maybe even under your shoulders and head, ramping your upper body up. I don't know if you can see, this lifts up, then my ribs can settle down. But I want you to relax into that shape. Breathe into the low back ribs and slide left heel out. Relax low belly. Exhale, pull low belly in, slide left heel in. Inflate back bottom ribs, slide the right heel out. Relax low belly out. Exhale, hug low abdominals in, slide the heel in. Adding an arm motion, if it's okay on shoulders. Inhale, back bottom ribs, slide left heel out, right arm reaches up overhead. Kind of a swimming stroke. Exhale, engage low abdominals, bring everything back to center. Inflate back bottom ribs, slide right heel out, swim the left arm up. Exhale, pull low belly in. Do one more round like that, opposite arm, opposite leg. Focusing on the breath. If you mix up the arm and leg, this doesn't really matter. You won't fall over. And feel for the supple engagement of the low abdominals so your spine doesn't have to distort to create the movement. And extend out on your mat when you're done. Legs straight, arms alongside the body. And here's another one if you have a slippery floor or you want to put a blanket on your mat, it might be helpful. I'm going to get into the QL and obliques. Feel the back bottom ribs heavy on the ground, the hips balanced. You're going to feel for left and right hip staying balanced on the earth, left and right rib cage staying balanced. Breathe into the length of your spine. And exhale, pinch into right waist to start to curve your torso, shoulders to the right. Again, feel for left hip, left rib staying settled. Breathe into left side body. Exhale, engage right side waist muscles to pull you down maybe a little bit more. And let's take 3 or 4 more breaths. Some of you will find a little more space to crunch into with each exhale. You might not. If you're at your edge, you stay and breathe there. Breathing into the opening left side. Exhale. Feel the right side waist engage. The heels haven't moved. Left hip, left ribs heavy. Try not to use, I just curled my shoulders. Try not to use your arms and shoulders. See if you can use solely those spinal and waist muscles. So that's why a slippery floor helps. So you can just kind of slide into it. All right, take one breath. Exhale, come back to center. And here's where slippery floor is fun. You might just spring back into Shavasana. All right, breathe into center. Long line, crown of head, down into hips, down into grounded heels. Exhale, crunch left side waist and start to lean to the left. I'll get quiet for about 6 breaths so you can feel your way down and really feel where your edge is. You're not trying to break through anything. Turning on. Feel right hip, right ribs staying settled. Take one more breath where you are. Exhale, Shavasana. Unwind. Hug your knees into your chest. Spinal twist, drop your knees over to the left. You might scooch your hips over to the right first. That moves this twist more to the middle of the spine so it doesn't pull along low back and sacrum, SI region. Over to the other side. And then we'll move into tabletop to do that arm glide, heel slide from a quadruped, all fours. If that doesn't work for you, you'll come back onto your back and come back into your swim, inhaling into the back ribs as you slide one leg out and the opposite arm up. You can focus on one body part at a time if you want. Those of you who are in tabletop, once again, take a moment to neutralize your spine. Either spread the fingers wide to stretch out the wrists. If you have wrist issues, you might prefer to be on fists. Or to ramp up your hands, put a pillow or blanket. I actually like yoga blocks for this instead, so your fingers can hang off. And press the ground away to firm up chest. Draw the low ribs in to connect to core, but then drop top rim of sacrum down so spine is neutral. Low back issues, you might have to tuck the tail. That's fine if you're protecting your low back injury. Inhale, slide the left foot back without changing anything in the pelvis, ribs, shoulders. Exhale, knee to earth. Inhale into back bottom ribs, right toes back. Oop, I shifted to the left. Try to stay centered. Exhale, knee down. Inhale, back bottom ribs, reach right arm forward, thumb pointing to ceiling. Exhale down. Inhale into the back of the rib cage, float the left arm forward, thumb to sky. Exhale down. Now, option to put those together, or you can work one limb at a time. Inhale into back bottom ribs, slide left leg back, right arm forward. Exhale, center. Inhale, right foot back, left arm forward. Breathe into back ribs. Exhale, pull low belly in center. Do each side 2 more times. If you want to float the left foot off the earth, that's fine. Watch out for doing the cow tilt. Keep your ribs and belly in. With everything we do in this class, the most important thing is the breath. Move in a way that gives flavor. Sometimes the breath gets hot. Sometimes it gets louder. And if you're breathing, it's good. All right, when you're done with your rounds, you can either rest in child's pose or stretch into a down dog. Those of you lying on your backs, transition towards standing forward fold. Take a few breaths in your transition. If you're in child's pose, tuck your toes, walk your hands to your feet. Down dogs, feet to hands, hands to feet. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Jackknife. Inhale to a flat back. Bring your hands to your waist. And feel with your hands to tuck the front ribs in. Roll the shoulders back, elbows to sky. For some of you, your hamstrings, your low backs, you'll need to bend the knees a lot and even tuck the tail under. If your low back's healthy, keep the tail untucked, that natural curve in low back, but the low abdominals engaged. And then whatever shape you're in, if it feels steady, you can rock your weight towards your toes and maybe open your wings, arms, hands directly in line with the shoulders. So if you wiggle your fingers, you can see them in your peripheral vision. If that still feels safe, maybe you reach your arms forward, arms squeezing into ears like you're holding a ball or a yoga block and stretching it forward. Breathe into the back bottom ribs. If that feels still feels safe, you'll inhale to stand like that. Otherwise, put your hands on your hips and bend your knees. Inhale to come up. Exhale, samastitihi. Modified half sun salute. Step your feet a little wider than your Tadasana. We'll be coming into a catcher stance. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, catcher stance, hands or elbows onto your thighs. Bend your knees, tuck your tail, tuck your chin, like you're turning into a little ball. Standing cat-cow. Inhale, look forward, lift your tail up. Exhale, tuck your tail, tuck your chin. Keep pressing tail to feet, feet to earth to rise. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, samastitihi. We'll do 2 more like that together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, catcher stance. Tuck tail, tuck chin. And then inhale, open into cow tilt. Or dog tilt if you prefer that animal. Exhale, tuck tail, tuck chin. Inhale, rise. Exhale, samastitihi. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, catcher stance. Tuck tail, tuck chin. Standing cat-cow. Inhale. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, rise. Exhale, Samastitihi. We'll do 3 more rounds. You can either continue this variation, or maybe you bring your feet into Tadasana for our more typical variation where we swan dive or roll down. So we'll start together, and then you move in through your variation. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, catcher stance or forward fold. Wherever you are, inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise. Exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Once again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift heart. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale, Samastitihi. Take a moment with your thumbs against your heart to feel it beat. Feel your feet on the earth. Eyes closed or gaze soft at the earth. Windmilling triangle. Step your feet 3 feet apart. Blocks will be coming into a forward fold. I'll demonstrate with blocks. Inhale, hands to waist. Exhale, fold. Hands to earth or blocks, or use chairs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Take a moment to settle in to get breath into the hamstrings. If you like to sway, soften a knee at a time. If that helps you feel for the breath, giving some elasticity, some fluidity to your hamstrings, use movement. You don't have to. Then inhale to a flat back, either hands on blocks or come onto your fingertips. Windmilling triangle. Exhale, reach your tailbone straight back. Soften the front ribs up into your belly. Keep the low spine neutral. Inhale to low back ribs. Turn to your right, right hand up. Exhale, center. Inhale, low back ribs. Turn left, left hand up. Exhale, center. Do that 2 more times to each side. We're broadening the ribs into the twist, so there might be smaller twists than usual. And once you're down with your last round, either return to forward fold or back into your hamstring dance. Spider, inhale to a flat back, turn out the toes, bend the knees. Maybe the hips drop as low as the knees, not lower than that. Hands can either be on ground, ankles, or you can prop up on your thighs as you feel for widening through the thighs and lengthening into the spine, tail straight back, crown of head forward. Twisting lunge. Walk your hands towards right foot, lower left knee down if you have enough padding in your space. Otherwise, you can do a twisting crescent. Part one, let's do easy twisting variation. Left hand on the floor, or maybe even wide enough that you're off your yoga mat. Right hand on sacrum. In this variation where you're grounding the sacrum, I'm fine with letting your left hip drop and even the left rib sag, dipping into left shoulder rising, if your body's fine with that. Usually I'm cueing the absolute opposite of that when you twist, but for here, with all the space you have, you can let the spine hang and breathe into the areas that are opening. Twisting warrior variation. Back your hips up, pull your left hip back. Tuck your back toes, inhale, exhale, right arm to sky. You can leave left knee down if you prefer. If the weight is getting real heavy on left wrist, push your feet down more, parallel your belly in. There really shouldn't be too much weight on left hand if you can find center. Either stay here a couple more breaths or set left knee down and hook left elbow, right thigh. Or of course you can do that twist with left knee up also. Little visit to pigeon or deer. I'm going to cue deer pose. If you prefer pigeon, that's fine. Roll your right shin down and roll all the way onto right hip. Left knee can bend out to the side a lot, so there's a lot of space behind your knees. And bring both hands to frame the right foot. Draw yourself out towards right foot. Depending on what's going on in your hip, it might feel more right to you today to reach forward over shin or even twist towards knee. There's really not a position you can find that won't get some aspect of the hip. So breathe into where your attention is hiding right now and start to root it out, wake it up. And then press back up to some neutral position where you can come into lunge, left foot forward. Take your time if you want to down dog or cat cow or even cobra. Left foot forward, back knee down. And all these twists can be done with back knee up. Right hand far out to the right, maybe off your mat, left hand on sacrum. Massage your sacrum towards your back foot. Then inhale, lengthen the spine, the rib cage from your rooted sacrum. Spiraling open, but also it's fine to sink down. Bring left hand to your thigh. Inhale, back your hips up. Pull the right hip back a lot. Option to tuck back toes. And exhale, straighten back leg, twist to the left, twisting warrior variation. And maybe you stay right in the twist you're in, or you can hook right elbow, left thigh, twisting lunge or twisting crescent. Pigeon variation or deer. Deer pose, sit down on your left hip. If you did this on the first side, do it again on second side. Hands frame front foot. And inhale, let's cobra your spine out towards the left foot. And exhale, settle in. Keep your neck relaxed as you press yourself back up. We'll make our way to sitting. Take your time if your body was craving a down dog or a cat cow. We'll do seated stretch variations, Janu Shirsasana. If you have a strap and some kind of roll, a rolled up towel, like one of those really soft core balls would work too, or a little pillow, we'll use that. You don't have to. We're moving into variations of forward fold, so you don't need props. But if you want to play with this, take your roll, your soft thing, and put it right under your knee. We'll do a few variations. I found if I'm sitting like this too long, my right hip will cramp. So if right leg needs to straighten out, I'm not too concerned with what right leg is doing right now. And if you're using a strap, hook it around the ball of the left foot. Flex your toes back. Ground your two sit bones. Inhale, lengthen spine, turn navel towards left knee. And exhale, draw your straight spine over your left thigh. Neck, any position that is softening for you. Some, depending on what you feel, if you keep your neck in line with your spine, or hang your head or look forward slightly. Those seemingly tiny changes can make a huge difference when you're moving to deeper stretches. Those of you who are not using your toys, take a moment to inhale, lift, and lengthen. And exhale, return to your fold. You can change leg position if you like. Those of you using props, now take your pillow, your prop. I'll unfold mine a little bit to go right in the middle of the hamstring. A little bit of pin and stretch. And then once again, strap around left foot, turn belly to thigh. And you can press your leg down into your prop as you come into your fold. Feel for lengthening out more than down. Relax that. Take your roll and unroll it enough, or your toy enough that it's close to your butt as possible. Your sitting bone can still reach the ground, but you've got it nudged right up against the sitting bone. And then one more time, press your leg down into your prop as you fold. Now here's the one where I need to straighten my leg out. Relax that, take all your toys away or take your roll away and come into a straightforward forward fold. And just notice how that feels. You guys who are not using the toys, if you've done both sides, you're welcome to come onto your back and do variations on your back. It's those of us who are doing the pin and stretch, move on to side 2. Slowly come up. Straighten your right leg out. You can investigate how your hamstring feels now. Prop under knee. Strap around foot. In this first variation, use it very much to lengthen your spine, rooting down through your sitting bones, your tailbone, and pubic bone. And feel for lengthening, lengthening, lengthening over thigh. Heart towards toes. And again, head position wherever it feels like it helps the lengthening out of low back. Then relax your stretch. Move your prop to right into the belly of the hamstrings. And you can press your thigh down if your prop is soft enough as you once again lengthen over right thigh. Part 3, back up enough so you can get the prop right into the upper attachment. This is, if you have any injury there, I would say in the belly of the hamstring. This is a common place in yoga where we call it yoga butt, which sounds really cute, but it's not cute. It's when this either starts to get a tendonitis or even pops. So this will help the hamstrings know not to do that. Come into your forward fold. You can press, if you don't have any irritation there, press firmly down into your roll. And then come out so you can move your roll aside and come into a straightforward Janu Shirsasana with or without strap. Just notice how that feels. Those of you who've been playing on your back, maybe you're in Shavasana. If not, you can head on there. Forward folds if you want to explore for 2 more breaths before heading down onto your back. There's no hurry. And turn up the breath as you transition onto your back. You might feel that your body's asking for more stretches or twists. It's good to discern what the body's asking for and what the mind is telling you you should be feeling. We're just a few weeks out from the winter solstice, which might be my favorite time of year. It is my favorite time. Probably because it does tell us to slow down and to rest more. So if you would like to stay in Shavasana, stay. If you're ready to come up, transition slowly with a deepening breath. Namaste.